Hello, my friends, and happy Monday. We are getting close to ending chapter 8, and did that fly by? So today what we're going to start talking about is what we call a line plot. So a line plot looks like this, and a line plot helps us organize information. It tells us different things. So this one is talking about the length of pencils in inches. And we know that because that is the title on this line plot that I wrote down here. So now these little X marks tell us the length of a bunch of different pencils in inches. So we had one pencil that was 5 inches, we have two pencils that are 6 inches, three pencils that are 7 inches, we have one pencil in 8, no pencils in 9 inches, one pencil in 10 inches, and one pencil in 11 inches. So today we're going to be making our own line plots, and I'm going to start by making my own for you guys. So what I did was I collected some books from my library and I measured them. So let's start with the first book. We have a Cam Jansen book and it measured at 7.5 inches. So I measured it this way, and I did that by just starting right at the top, making sure I lined it up correctly, and then measuring to see where it was. So I saw that it was 7.5 inches. You could do the other way too. I just thought that this way might have been a little bit easier. So then we are going to write that in a chart over here. So I'm going to write book number 1 equals 7.5 inches. And then we have book number 2. We have a Junie B. Jones book, and this one was also measuring at 7.5 inches. So I'm going to say book number 2 equals 7.5 inches. Then we have book number 3. It's Frog and Toad Together. I know you guys love this one. And this one was 8.5 inches. So I'm going to write book number 3, 8.5 inches. Then I have Spot's First Easter. This one was a small one at 6.5 inches. So that's book number 4. And then I have this last Cat in the Hat book that measured at 9 1/4 inch. So I'm going to put the book number 5, 9 1/4 inch. Okay, so now what I did was I wrote that all out just so I could see the numbers and start creating my chart. So I'm going to put this right back here as I start making my chart. So here's my chart, and underneath right here as the title, I'm going to write length of books in inches. So it's important to always put a title so we know what you are measuring or what the chart represents, right? In inches. So we have length of books in inches, and then we're going to go ahead and fill this out. So in the other chart that I showed you, the numbers were it was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? These ones we have half inches. So what are we going to do? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at 5.5, and then I'm going to do 6.5, 7.5, 8.5. I'm going to then do 9.5. But to show 9 1/4, where would I have to put 9 1/4 on here? Because one of our books was 9 1/4 inch. So I'm just actually going to create a little bit of another line right before the 9.5 and mark that with 9 1/4 inch. So this is what my chart looks like before I start filling it out with the X's. So then we're going to start and look at our chart. We're going to look at book number 1, and I'm going to look for 7.5 inches, and I'm just going to put 1 X. Just like that. And then book number 2 was also 7.5 inches, so I'm going to put another X. Book number 3 is 8.5. Book number 4 is 6.5. And book number 5 was 9 1/4. So in this chart, we can show that the length of books in inches of these 5 books that I measured, we could show all their lengths right here. We have 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, and 9 1/4 inch. So that is what you are going to be doing today. So first you are going to find 5 books in your house and you are going to measure those. You can measure the length of them this way, or you can measure the length of them this way. Just let me know which one that is. And then you can pick 5 other objects. I suggest maybe 5 pencils, 5 crayons, 5 stuffed animals. You can do whatever you really want, as long as there's a difference in their length. So I don't want 5 Matchbox cars that are all like about 2 inches. You want to do something that is all going to vary in length. So pencils will vary in length because when they're sharpened, when they're not sharpened, when they have a point, they don't have a point. So that will help you. You could try and go to the nearest 1/2 inch if it's easier for you. That might be the easiest way to do that. And that is all for today. Let me know if you have any questions. And before you go, remember that this chart will help us when we want to look at a lot of information, and I look forward to seeing yours and how creative you get. I will talk to you guys again on Wednesday.